into Leesville Tattoo and Views. We're going to go ahead and do this.
A trio.
After hours. Live from no man's land. And it truly is no man's land. We don't have Mary tonight.
I know it.
Man,
Something feels off.
It definitely feels off.
Well, just the pretty people showed up.
That's right. That's right.
The professional yapper has taken the night off. Yeah.
That's exactly correct. So it's the three of us tonight. Not that we have any shortage of shit to talk about. Okay, you got to give me the rundown on the call this one. Wait, before we do that, Josh, how are you this evening?
Doing good, man. I had to go home and take a shower after work. I felt like a weenie that was left in the weenie water too long.
Yeah.
I feel much better now.
Well, that's good.
That hot dog left in the late night roller at the convenience store.
Well, Lee, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I cannot complain.
Still got a broken hand. Huh?
Still got a broken arm. I'm at the orthopedic at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. They're going to look at it, and I'm going to try my best to talk them into cutting this off, putting me in a hard sling, splint type deal that I can take on and off so I can start working again. But I know my wrist isn't healed. It's been 4 weeks now, but I'm hoping it's healed enough that they'll agree with me, but maybe not. The big hurdle was no surgery needed because it was an impact break. It wasn't I don't know what they call that particular fracture, a snap, right? Yeah, the head got shoved back in on the bone, and the bone just couldn't take it. So it made a mess in there. My kid is about to start driving school, so we ran around that, getting that squared away today. We've got just a ton of stuff going on, but I'm thankful.
Well, since y'all asked, I'll go ahead and tell you how I'm doing. I would be doing a whole lot better if there were pedophiles locked up right now.
You and me both. Just start hanging them in mass.
What's crazy to me, there's all kind of stuff crazy about it, but the fact that how long have we been talking about this, and it's been in the zeitgeist, and not a single person in the U.S.
Nope. Jelaine Maxwell's stand-in is in prison.
Yeah. And that's it.
I wouldn't even say it's her. And this has been going on a while.
Stand-in, yeah.
How long ago was Pizzagate? 10, 12 years ago?
10 years ago at least.
And people didn't want to believe it then.
No.
And now we have evidence.
Well, and, like I say, man, there's so many of the tinfoil hat believers that have been proven right.
Yep.
That are going, well, okay.
Yep.
Now how silly does Uncle Billy look? He was killing the 12-pack at the family functions, making everyone uncomfortable. And now they're going, you know what? Drunk Eddie was right.
Yep.
He was on to something with all this. He was, so, you owe your crazy uncle an apology at this point. But my bigger problem with it is when you go on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and people are still arguing red and blue. People are talking about, well, if they don't pass the SAVE Act, well, it doesn't matter if you vote or not.
Yeah.
You're getting the same shit.
Exactly.
My pedophile's better than your pedophile.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly what it sounds like and what it is, because and then the other day, people are going, man, it's just Epstein files with you people. Yeah, that's all it should be.
That's all
that matters.
If you're talking about anything else,
that matters.
Dude, yeah, you've lost it.
I was in a conversation with a boomer, and I was asked, how important do you think the Epstein files is to most people? And I was like, it's very important, especially to parents. And he was like, you've got to be kidding me. I was like, no, that is the premier issue. That is what we are concerned about. Yeah. And he was like, that doesn't make any sense. I said, well, these people are now in positions of power. He said, this was stuff that happened 20 years ago. It's under the bridge. Why are you even worried about it? And I asked him, I said, okay, so if you had a daughter that was raped, trafficked, exploited 20 years ago, would it hurt less today that it was 20 years ago?
Yeah.
That the person went unpunished.
Is now your president.
No consequences, or your governor, or your mayor, or
whoever.
Pick a position of authority, a bank teller, a bank president, a broker, whoever, a captain of an airplane, whatever. This person suffered no consequences. Their career went on a complete fucking upward trajectory, while your daughter's now having to deal with the impact of this that
If she's
happened
still
to her.
alive.
If she's still alive.
If she survived,
Yeah.
at 14, 16,
So-
20, 18, it doesn't matter the
12,
age.
8.
The fact is, as men, we should be protecting kids,
Right.
and we dropped the ball.
Yep.
So now that we have evidence, we're pretty fucking pissed off about it.
Yeah.
And everything I see on the news, all I hear is yada, 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 Epstein, yada, 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 pedophiles did this. I don't care if they're bombing something, if the stock market's at whatever, if this gets passed or that. All I hear is pedophiles are engineering society, and you have to live under their rules, under their tenure.
Well, I heard someone say the other day that nobody was going to get prosecuted over this because the statute of limitations is up. And the statute of limitations that aren't up is one of the reasons they're slow rolling all this out as quickly as they can.
That might have been why they waited
now-
so long
Well,
to
my
try
thought-
to push this stuff out.
I was under the impression that there was no statute of limitations on murder.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Well,
So-
how much of this occurred in international waters in other countries brought into the states, whether it was New Mexico, Florida, and people act like, the Epstein list is out. Well, look at how much of it was redacted
and now being deleted off the website.
Yeah.
Quietly
and
in
what
the night.
wasn't direct.
43,000 pages, I think,
Yeah.
have been deleted.
And what they did let out was so unbelievably disgusting. It's hard for most people to wrap their head around
Right.
it.
Most people don't.
Yeah, they'd rather watch foosball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd
They
rather
don't want ball.
deal with
Yeah.
the SAVE Act. They'd
Yeah.
rather, so I mentioned this a few podcasts ago. It is going to be up to us to do whatever needs to be done to tear this system down. Bondi is credited with the statement that, we can't prosecute everyone because the system will collapse. Well, sister, your terms are acceptable.
Exactly. Collapse the system.
Collapse it.
It's like the Joker movie whenever he's sitting in there getting interviewed by the late night TV host, and he turns to him and he said, "You know what you get, Larry? You know what you fucking get?"
Yeah, one to the face.
I mean, I don't see how, if anything else matters to people other than this, because I don't know where their mind would be to where they could just quietly dismiss the rape, torture, and murder of young, innocent children.
Yeah.
And say, well, that's 20 years ago. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It matters.
A
Everything
whole lot.
matters.
Every day.
And just the fact that all those people are still in power.
Still in power.
Nobody,
Still
no
in
one's gone
government.
to jail.
No
Nobody's been
consequences.
investigated. Nobody's, it's like it never happened.
Well,
Whoop-de-hoo.
Yeah.
they're telling us these activities are necessary for the government to function, for the stock market to function, for international relationships to be good, for statehood to maintain its burn it all down.
Yeah.
Their democracy,
Yeah.
their institutions of authority would collapse.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. But
A new
we,
one
the
rise,
people,
take its place.
would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll construct something that doesn't require
I'm pretty sure none of this is what our founding fathers expected
Shit, no.
to be going on.
shit. No.
Foreign lobbies, foreign interest, foreign governments getting us into wars to try to cover up whatever it is we're doing, getting our soldiers in quagmires all across,
And then
globe.
lying to us about it.
and then lying about it, and then getting. These are our only choices to vote on. These are the people we get to vote, on. This is it. This is your choices.
Yeah, dipstick and shit stick.
Yeah, and I can't believe that we're
But
in this.
we're voting for their
that's-
stick.
and everybody's still going to work. We're still, we're not flipping cars over. We're not burning buildings or nothing like that. Not saying that I'm for violence and I'm advocating violence, but at some point there's going to have to be some sort of an outcome that's going to take some physical activity beyond a harsh worded letter or Congress getting up there and speaking for a couple of hours and being,
Passing a resolution.
passing whatever it is they do, and then nothing else happens. And then
Well-
we just go on with life.
It tells you everything you need to know how badly they are now attacking Thomas Massey
Oh,
and
my gosh.
Rand Paul and Marjorie Taylor Greene and
Rokana.
Ro Khanna, and watching both the left and right.
Demonize them.
Well, I'm going to say the left and right middles coming together because they realize this is much bigger than, the SAVE Act or while all these people are still arguing red and blue, there's Democrats and Republicans that are staunchly in the middle, sane people like Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna that are going, look, these are pedophiles.
Yeah.
They ate children. They're pedovores.
Yeah, that's a good word.
And
Pedovores.
they're still in
Pedovores.
they're still in power. They're still making decisions. The only
Making
decision they ought to be making is, do they take the shank or do they take the booty rape?
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's your only the only decision you ought to be making day to day.
Well, the sad part, I think, that this gets into, what I think everybody is missing in the point of it is that this has been going on for centuries. And this has been going on for so long that this satanic cabal, and that is what it is. It is a satanic cabal of people that are involved in this stuff. This isn't just about old guys going and having fun on an island. This has Hollywood actresses, females that are involved in this, heads of state, all kinds of people that are involved in this. And if you look at what they're doing is they're killing innocents. They're spitting in God's face. They're telling God, we're taking the most purest form of your creation. We're defiling it. We're murdering and torturing it, and we're summoning demons, and we're using that to gain power on the earth that we create and we control. This is no longer about anything other than, it has nothing to do with Israel, has nothing to do with the United States, nothing to do with France, has everything to do with the world and the way it is right now. These global people are a part of a big group, and it's a satanic cult. And until people get that in their head, this isn't a blue and red, an Israel, a U.S. thing. This is a satanic warfare operation being run for hundreds of years.
And I thought it was so telling because it wasn't too long ago, Vladimir Putin said the vampire's ball is coming to an end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, when the leader of a world power, nuclear power, is going, hey, and he's basically called it. He said the reason they don't worry about who's the president of the United States is because they're going to be gone in 4 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. And he said,
controlled.
And I'm sort of paraphrasing him here, but he said presidents get elected with good ideas, and they go in office, and then the guys in black suits with briefcases show up and tell them this is how it's actually going to be. And so, that's essentially it, because, you saw what Trump ran on. If you were a MAGA person, unless you're just hardcore, staunchly drinking the Kool-Aid, whatever, you can clearly see, Ray Charles can see, he didn't keep any of his promises.
No.
He did absolutely everything he said he wasn't going to do. So unless you're just a complete Kool-Aid drinking, single-focused moron, and those are the same people that don't care about the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. They're the same, well, you just get off Epstein. Look at everything he's done. Well, let's see. He's got us in a bunch of wars.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I can see, he hasn't done anything.
How much further in debt now?
Right.
I mean, there's really no
telling.
telling. I mean, this crest of this wave is just fixing to start to fall.
Well, Ms. Mary sent a thing. Was it yesterday? Pete Hegseth spent $93 billion
in a matter of hours, days.
It is crazy.
It's like a short.
How do you spend that much money in any amount of time?
The stuff that he was buying is insane.
Yeah, I didn't think Hegseth was a piano fan, but
it's some sort of a government thing to where if you don't use it, you lose it. So you're not going to get that appropriation for the next year.
Yeah.
So you got to hurry up and spend all this money.
Yeah, man, our mom worked
Amazon cards
in
money laundering,
a GS position in the government, and her department experienced the same thing, and it's just the most insane dynamic. That department was responsible for medical beds for burn victims, and if doctors needed something for a patient, they ordered it, maintained it. So at the end of the fiscal year, they had a budget of, let's say, $20 million. If they only spent $17 million of it, they would hurry up and spend the other $3 million so they could justify
getting their budget for next year.
Yeah, so that the budget didn't get cut down to 17 million. So
Right.
instead of being rewarded and going, "Hey, great job, y'all didn't spend as much money last year," and every department in the government does this.
Yes, malfeasance is rewarded.
They're not trying
Corruption
to
is
spend
rewarded.
less money. They're trying to spend
More money.
more money. It is government protecting itself. In this Epstein class, it just keeps rolling and it just keeps growing and it just keeps getting bigger. There's nothing to stop it. There's no accountability. I mean, our government has grown so large. We have departments that are actively working against each other. You know, it's so large. The Pentagon hasn't passed an audit in 8 years or something?
It's been a while. I know
It's-
that the department that was investigating the billions of dollars that was missing out of the Pentagon budget was hit by a supposed airliner on 9/11,
Yeah.
and that
Okay.
right in that same spot.
Okay. Yeah. And
Well-
they shut Doge down because they got to dig into
Well,
it.
I saw a great idea, and that's take the 80,000 IRS agents and make them Doge agents and just let them find the fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to find taxpayers. Just eliminate the fraud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll
and
be
that's just
fine.
it.
Yeah.
We don't have a tax revenue issue. We don't have a export import. We have a fraud issue.
Yeah.
I mean, if they just eliminated the fraud, but I mean, I've
Well,
heard it said that's the only thing that's holding this country together. It's not the Constitution. It's not a religious doctrine that runs through the theme of the civilization. It's not a moral high ground. It's the fraud that holds the states together, that trickles down from Washington.
Speaking of fraud, did you hear where Epstein in the Epstein emails was talking to his doctor and saying, "I need testosterone, I need this," and the doctor asked him, "Well, you had your prostate removed, right, in '96?" He's like, "Yes, that's right. I had my prostate removed in '96. I need some extra testosterone, blah blah, this and that." So he's like, "Okay." Well, then you look at the Epstein autopsy. And they're going over the autopsy and they're talking about all the organs and they're displaying all the organs and talking about their condition. Well, guess what they find in the autopsy for Jeffrey Epstein?
Prostate.
A prostate.
Yeah.
So that just goes to tell you, talking about fraud. I mean, that just goes to tell you that the body that they are autopsying is not the body of Jeffrey Epstein.
No, you don't have your prostate removed and it
The
grow back.
guard that was in charge of his cell block that was supposed to keep an eye on him was removed from her job, was not criminally prosecuted, and her bank called the FBI or sent a letter to the FBI or notified the FBI that she had 12 major cash deposits from an unknown source the night after.
Yeah.
Or the week after Epstein was taken
Removed
out.
from the cell.
Removed from the
Yeah.
cell.
Yeah.
And the least of which was $5,000. The most of which they haven't disclosed. But she was driving around a $65,000 Land Rover.
I heard a thing talking about that, some quote unquote experts, that to be a guard there, you make $20 an hour and you have to be working on your GED to get hired. You have to have no prior experience. So it's like, how easy is it to get to
corrupt.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're, you don't have to have any qualifications really.
$20 an hour in New York.
It didn't shit.
Way below poverty
Yeah.
line.
Right?
Yeah,
So
way below
this chick
poverty.
was apparently getting large sums of money that alarmed her bank to the fact where they contacted the FBI.
Yeah.
That she had 12 large deposits within a week of his removal. And Epstein doesn't have a prostate, but they found one in his body.
Perfect.
So that just tells you
Perfect.
everything you need to know about the Epstein files, everybody.
Hoorah.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Let's go
moving
bomb Iran.
Move on. Yeah. Well, and that's exactly what that little operation is about. I mean, they
Epstein
talk about
Fury?
They talk about the Greater Israel Project. You can call it the Greater Epstein Project.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they wanted to start this. Well, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein is a product of someone. Who's controlling him? chances are he was a double agent. He was playing all sides against each other and making out like a bandit.
Larry
Rothschilds.
Yes, Larry Wexner was in deposition, and he got threatened by his lawyer that said he would fucking kill you if you say anything more than 5 words.
Right.
That was after the fact that he said that he was working for the Rothschilds.
Well, and they went to his house to depose him because he was too ill to travel.
Yeah.
He didn't look ill at all.
Not ill at all.
Again, Epstein class.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to come to your house to depose you.
And it makes you wonder whenever these presidents go in with good intentions, like you were talking about Trump #1 when he first went into office. I really do think he had some good intentions and kind of had put his past behind him and was really thinking about, you know, the good of the country. But when you say the guys in the black suits roll up with the black briefcases and they have a conversation with you, and then you realize that you're dealing with a global elite that has been pulling the strings for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah.
That are ruling this planet that we're living on. And they're like, we control you, and you're going to do exactly what the playbook says.
Yeah.
Or you will no longer be on this earth.
Well, you know, we grow up in this dynamic that you were born in this country. This is your country. You belong to this country, however you want to phrase it. That this is how things work.
This corporation.
Meanwhile, this global cabal, they have no country. They pledge no allegiance to any flag.
They have no birth certificates.
They engineer your dynamic that you live under. Go to work. Go to work to the point you're exhausted. All you can do is sit in front of the television, drink some substances, smoke some substances, do some substances that alleviate your misery, but go to work the next day and, by God, pay your taxes because you owe it, because we need it.
And then we'll strip you of any wealth that you have by either taxing you with your financial earnings, or we'll tax you by raising the prices of the goods and services that you've grown to know and love.
Yeah, here's some
Oil,
inflation.
energy, food, water.
Yeah. And that's what's so crazy about this Iran war. Iran, you know, when you think of war, you think of this.
It's not even a war.
Two
it's not
sides.
even a declared war.
Yeah, fighting
It's
and
an
planting
operation.
flags, and Iran just has to survive.
Right.
All they have to do is drive up the price of oil.
Yep.
Keep, shooting $100,000 missiles that cost, the United States of Israel $44 million to shoot down, and it becomes too expensive to fight. But
like you're saying, make the product and the fraud so expensive that the West can't really carry on with the status quo.
And we had this Cold War narrative where projection of power was enough to keep everybody at bay.
Contained, yeah.
Well, now it turns out those high dollar weapon systems can be thwarted by
drones.
So expensive, yeah, exactly. Drones, inexpensive systems.
I saw a guy saying the only way that they're going to understand it, both parties, is if you stop donating. Don't give $1 to any candidate and let them dry up. And I confidently said, don't worry, AIPAC will make up the difference.
Sums up.
So it doesn't matter if you donate to these candidates or not. They don't give a shit.
Until foreign lobbies and lobbyists, I say foreign lobbies first, are no longer allowed to give any money to any candidate.
Yeah.
We're not going to stop this.
No. AIPAC doesn't even have to register.
They're not registered under FARA.
No, not at all. So, nonviolent civil disobedience and how you get everybody on the same page, I have no idea. But on a random Tuesday, nobody go to work, nobody go to school, no trucks run, no trains move, no boats float, no planes fly, no hospitals open, no gas stations open. We all just chill at home and just hang out with our kids.
Within days, it would bring the economy to a halt. It would stop everything.
One day, they would brick their diapers.
Yeah.
Right? Just do it on a random Tuesday, and then...
Well, I know the English and the Spanish and people like that over there, they do mass protests and strikes.
Yes, they do.
And they get together, man. They actually do the things and don't, propagate the system. So.
But on that day, and you wouldn't have 100%, but you wouldn't need 100% of the population. You would just need a significant amount of people to not spend money, not participate, and then 2 days later, 5 days later, whatever, everybody run to the bank and pull out as much money as they possibly can before they shut it down.
Well, the thing is that you, me, and Cody and some others, we could do that. It's people that are programmed into corporate jobs and corporate working for corporate companies. They won't be able to do that because they'll be fired. They'll be replaced, or they won't have a job.
Everybody take a sick day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, but there is. Are you willing to pay the price? How bad does it have to get? But a couple podcasts ago, we were talking about people are addicted to the dopamine pleasures, right? They like their video games. They like their Facebook likes. They like their beer. They like their cigarettes, their porn. As long as the prison is comfortable.
Yeah, the stimulants are there.
The stimulation is there. They're not going to buck the system.
Right.
Even if you present the evidence that, hey, you're not free.
Yeah, this isn't the life that we were supposed to live, man. This isn't where we're supposed to be.
Well, I'll go on another subject here, kind of in the same vein, because when I was in Houston not too long ago, every other commercial on radio and TV was testosterone clinics. Mm-hmm. Now, we know there is a huge testosterone problem in this country because men just aren't producing any. Now, I'd say there's a whole lot to do with what they're spraying in the sky, the shit that they're spraying on us.
Right.
But pretty much every guy I know has this problem, has this issue, has been treated for this issue, is being seen for this issue, wants to be seen for this issue. But when you ask, where are the guys? Why isn't everyone standing up? Why aren't we burning this to the ground? Because there ain't dudes that have enough energy to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And you're talking about going and, taking up pitchforks and torches to tar and feather these politicians. Yeah, most people don't have the energy for it. They're just like,
they can barely get out of bed. And
do a
It's
day
almost
of work.
like they designed it like that.
kind of odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just, call me crazy, give me the tinfoil hat, but I'm just putting 2 and 2 together here.
Right.
And I'm coming up with 4 at every turn. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so when people start ballyhooing about, well, where's the real men standing up? They're all in line at the testosterone clinics.
Yeah.
Or at the fast food restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, when 70% of the youth aren't eligible to serve in the military because they're in such bad shape or they have mental health issues or whatever the case may be, that's kind of a litmus for the country.
Yeah.
And then the fact so many military age kids have come into the country who probably don't have low T. I don't think it's at all coincidental.
No.
But it gives us a whole lot more to focus on other than the pedovores that are in power.
Pedovores.
Because, they just flooded the country with all these able-bodied male citizens.
Males, yeah.
Yes. And, again, going back to we're a depleted society, especially as far as males go. And then we've had a 20-year cycle of, neutering white males. Oh, that's toxic masculinity. Mm-hmm. Beaten down. And so now you're, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. Fuck them. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. Be a man.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Go to the gym. Lift heavy shit. 200 pounds is always 200 pounds, whether it's rainy,
don't even
sunny.
go to the gym. Just get up in the morning and do some exercises, stretch.
Burpees are
awesome, dude.
Yeah, they're easy to do. All you
Sit-ups.
need is a hallway.
Yeah.
You don't need a gym membership.
You do that in your jail cell.
But and they do.
They do
but,
that.
Do some exercise, move, get your blood pumping, eat red meat, stop eating processed
what
GMO.
you need to do, look, get up in the morning, get you a box of Big Debs, preferably the round fudge varieties.
What is Big Debs?
It's Little Debbie, but she's not little anymore.
Yeah,
She's now Big
Debbie
Deb.
Packing some weight.
So you polish off about half that box of fudge rounds. That's going to really get your blood clogged in the morning. Before you wash it down, I would say coffee, but it's more milkshake than coffee.
Coca-Cola.
It costs about $8-9 for this thing, and it's really going to help lube up your arteries.
Yeah.
Okay, to get
wash down your little Debbie cakes.
Get the Big Debs going, flowing through you. But at this point, the sugar you're going to have a tremendous headache, but boy, you'll have some energy. So, when you wash it down with your butt bucks coffee that cost $11 for some Italian name shit that's, again, going to be really healthy, then swing into the drive-through because you're going to need some nutrition. And we know how healthy American food is. So swing into the drive-through and get you a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit.
Yep.
That's made of yellow stuff they call cheese.
At Goy Donald's?
And Goy Donald's, yes. You're going to get some bread that in other countries is candy and, wrapped up in some almost meat.
Wash it down with a Coke.
Well, you want that half gallon of Diet Coke because we're trying to live healthy here, okay?
Diet Coke, yeah.
So you get the Diet Coke to wash down the hash browns that are made of potato-ish stuff.
Wood pellets.
And that's what gets your day going. All right.
Good for your colon.
By all means, don't walk anywhere. Drive around in the parking lot for half an hour to find the closest place to the doors you can get. And when you get there, look, you don't have a hair on your nuts if you don't find one of them little rascal scooters to putt around on in the
one of the lard carts.
You get a lard cart.
A lard cart.
Putt around for 2-3 hours. While you're getting cruise through the fruit section, look at it.
Makes you feel good.
You don't want any of that. No, you don't want any of that.
You want to go to the frozen food process section.
The more processed food doesn't spoil. And it's a scientific fact. If you eat enough processed foods, when you die and they bury you, if they have to come dig you up 5 years later, you look just the same.
That's awesome.
So you just won't rot at all. So
we went over the American diet.
Well, let's just we ain't even to lunch yet, but no, seriously. I mean, this is why we're not, when the Japanese emperor said they didn't invade America because there was a gun under every blade of grass, that's when we had able-bodied citizens to use those guns.
Men.
Yeah. We
sent those
have
guys
that.
off to die in World War II by the hundreds of thousands.
Now,
now they're going to Iran.
Like Cody said,
We have 7 casualties.
Bullshit.
I
think they just upwardly raised that number to 153.
They revised it to more than 10 times that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But your government wouldn't lie to you.
Not at all.
It's just a nonstop mockingbird.
Yeah.
Say the same thing, and they'll believe it. The idea you can go into combat, you can be in a war zone and not suffer any casualties is insane. I was just looking at oil, and that's Iran's key to making this stop.
I think the VIX is 121 right now.
I don't remember what it was, but I was looking at just oil futures on the Chicago Exchange.
Okay.
The Chicago Exchange is primarily derivatives,
right?
Options contracts, future contracts. And there were call options being bought at $150 a barrel for oil, $200 a barrel for oil. I saw a couple contracts at $250. And when I say a couple contracts, I mean it's like 10,000, 12,000. So somebody is betting money
that's going to get that high.
That it's going to get that high. If not, they're out several $1 million.
Yeah.
Now, what do they know that we don't know?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe they're just taking a gamble, but most people don't put, $12 million on Black 9 and roll the wheel.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it doesn't get that high, but if it does, we're now looking at, $10, $12, $15 a gallon at the pump?
Every bit of it, yeah.
Well, that translates to the non-processed food people aren't buying, but you got to transport the processed food.
Yeah.
It
All this,
correlates
everything goes
into
up.
everything. Yeah,
Everything goes up,
everything
right?
ties
Everything.
into the price of oil, and that's what this is about: money.
And it's like I told Christy the other day, a person I know. She was, how is this going to affect what they're trying to do with the electric cars and everything? And I said, well, they put that on the back burner because everybody kind of pushed back on that. But when you raise the price of energy and the cost of going anywhere, and you raise the price of food to where it's too expensive to go out, you've more or less create that 15-minute city, and you get everybody in a small little block
Yeah.
that's there, and you know where everybody's at. They can't afford to get out. They can't afford to drive, go on vacation. They can't afford to go out and eat.
Yeah.
Now you've created an artificial 15-minute city without even announcing it.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
if you can't afford, if you have to choose between air conditioning and food, medicine and fuel, you know, and you put people in these crisis situations month after month after month after month, survival becomes the goal,
Right.
not liberty,
No.
not freedom.
Nope. None of that
Not-
matters anymore.
No, you're only focused on, can I afford bread?
Well, that was this guy's point I was watching talking about paying taxes. He said when it comes down to it, you know, you have to eat first. So if it's eat or pay property taxes, I'm eating.
Yeah.
I'm not paying my property taxes. And those 80,000 armed agents are going to have to come to my house to tell me they're going to take my house.
Right.
Well, that's not going to go well,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And when you start doing that to entire communities, because people just can't afford it. And when they say this tax thing, and okay, don't give to candidates, don't pay your taxes, okay, if you don't pay your taxes, they'll just go print more money.
Right.
That's all they're going to do.
Yeah.
If you don't give it to candidates, well, APAC will make up the
Right.
difference. It's not going to matter at all. When you stop paying taxes locally, that's when it starts hitting.
Yeah.
You know, when the states start going, hey, now wait,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
hang
Well,
on a minute.
So many
They
people.
can't print the money like
right.
the government can.
Like the feds can.
and
And
the
then
feds can just
and then because you're eventually going to have a convention of states, because the states are going to start pushing back on the feds, and you're going to be back into basically what happened with the Civil War.
Right.
The states are going to go, we're not playing this
the
anymore.
balkanization of the United
Right.
States, and that's kind of I think where we should have been is a balkanized.
Yeah.
That's what it's
union.
going to come to.
It's going to have
Yeah.
to. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
really, it's going to have
The
to.
Yeah.
mainstream media, and if you're getting your news from Fox, CNN, MSNBC,
CBS.
whatever, CBS,
Now Larry Ellison, I think, owns all this.
you're falling into the propaganda machine.
Barry
Get you-
Weiss is the new CEO.
Yeah, get you a VPN, get your news from overseas, but
It's almost like they planned it that way.
almost it
like they planned it
seems
that
that
way.
way. But there are so many people filing their taxes, but they're filing exempt.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're not saying I owe anything. They're not saying you owe me anything. I'm exempt. This is my tax form. Exempt.
Well, the fact is,
And it's tens of thousands of people.
they know
somebody-
every dime you make,
Yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
coming, where it's
Ahead of
going.
time.
They don't. I mean, they're just
Right.
getting you to tell on yourself.
That's exactly what that process is.
Yeah.
You know, and,
That's all
but
it is.
So many goy servants are just so excited to get any kind of reprieve from their destitution state that they're in. The $1,500 or $2,000 checks that they're going to get from their government.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's like Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's my precious.
It's like winning the lottery.
It's my new
Yeah.
shoes.
This was a while back. I don't know how many years. It was either 2 years ago or 25 years ago. But I knew this guy. He got a scratch-off ticket.
Uh-huh.
Scratched it off. Maybe you were telling me about this, but he won like $12,000, $12,500 or something. So he's excited. Runs home, changes so he can go tell his boss where to shove it. Quits
Yeah.
his job.
Wow.
Just he's won the lottery.
$12,000.
Gets to looking at it and it's $2,500.
Oh.
It wasn't quite as much as he thought it was, but the $2,500 was, then he had to go back and ask his
Boss.
boss
Yeah.
for a job
Yeah.
that he had just quit.
Well, that's what people do.
But
Is just,
Cody mentioned they're going to print more money. If you don't, they're going to print more money anyway.
yeah.
It doesn't matter how much money you make. They're going to print enough money to erode the purchasing power of the dollars that are in existence.
Well, it's almost like they plan this like this, and I keep saying that. I know I'm a broken record when I say this, but whenever you have to look at the United States and the West in itself as they have to fall, they have to collapse. They have to collapse the system monetarily because they have to erase their debt that they've been accruing for the last, 100 years that we've accrued all this debt. And so when you look at doing that, you have to pull the cards very slowly and very methodically to be able to collapse the system in the way, in the paradigm that they want to collapse it, right? And so for them to do what they're doing now, it's almost like they already know they've lost their job. They already know that they're fixing to file bankruptcy. They already know all of these things are already played out. So why not go rack up the credit cards? Why not go buy a new Denali?
Right.
Why not go ahead and go to Disney? Because it doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah.
Because they're going to collapse the system in a couple of years anyway. It doesn't matter. We're going to erase the debt.
Well, the
Yeah.
crazy thing is, it
They
collapsed in 2008.
Well, they want to implode it rather than explode it.
Right.
Is what they're trying to do.
Right. They're trying to keep the people off the streets.
You know, you were talking about Iran. They just have to outlast us. And yeah, they're shooting, $500 drones up there, and we're shooting them down with $1 million missiles. So it does get to that point. The thing with what they're doing and driving up the price of gas, that's a tax on us,
people.
the American people, right? So with gas having gone up $1, I don't know where it is, wherever you're listening at, but it's basically gone up $1 in a week here. So
In days.
in a matter of days, within a week, it was, or 10 days, it was, it had jumped $1 from like $2.39 to $3.29 or something like that. It was quite a bit. So as we're using all this money to shoot down these drones and have this quote unquote not war, which is hilarious, but okay, we're not at war.
That's an operation.
Yeah, people are dying. We're shooting at each other,
Right.
but it's not a war.
Right.
Okay. Which my neighbor's going to love that when I start shooting at him and tell him, well, it's not a fight. I'm having an operation.
Right.
You're invited to our operation, even
sighting
though you
in
didn't
my
want to be
gun.
here. Right. So anyway.
And I'm going to bomb your kids.
Yeah. But what it's going to do is it's going to totally empower the BRICS nation because they're going to get off the petrodollar.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have to do this to get us on the digital dollar, which is exactly what they want to do.
Yep.
And this, again, not by design at all.
No.
This war that,
They're destroying the dollar.
if you really wanted to get rid of Iran, Israel could just hit them with a nuke, be done with it.
Which
That they don't have.
Well, yeah, that they
nobody's
don't
saying
have.
that's not off the table yet.
Well, and the thing
have
is,
400
but
of them.
there's no money in that.
Right.
It's like, okay, if you nuke them, well, what's Israel going to take over, a nuclear wasteland?
Right.
There's no profit in that. And there's no profit in a war ending that quickly.
And if you look at who some of these families are that control Northrop Grumman, Boeing, and some people like that, they make a lot of money off of taxpayers and the government buying these billion-dollar radar systems, buying these missiles, buying this stuff. It propagates another side of the sick and twisted world that we live in to where it makes us spend more money to propagate the people that own the businesses that are making the money from the U.S. taxpayer. It's not that they're wanting to win the war financially
They
stable.
just need the war to keep going.
They just need the war to keep going to spend more money so that these families and these people can make more money. And I think, wasn't it Vietnam that one of the president's wife, her family owned some military equipment maker company, and it was in Vietnam where they called her something. It was
Lady Bird Johnson.
Lady Bird Johnson. Her family owned some sort of military industrial complex company, and then she was
It was called the Army.
and her family was making all these products for the United States military, and it was just like ginning up so much money for her family.
Yeah. Look, I feel sick even talking about all this kind of stuff with the money stuff with the Pedovores still in charge and all that.
They're making the money off of this.
Well, and again, I always come back to how much is enough?
Never.
When is
Never.
it enough? I always come back to that. Once you own everything, you own it all. Every bit of it's yours. Now what?
Well, it's like,
know?
how many kids can you satiate your desires by raping, and then you're like, I think I'm going to eat some.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some, and then what do you do?
Right. What's next?
Now you're eating
Yeah,
kids,
right.
after you tortured and raped them and drank their blood.
Yeah.
What do you do next?
Well, yeah. What's the
next?
elevation from there?
Where do we go from here?
Well, you mentioned the collapse of the nation, the dollar. Every nation that has implemented a central bank, a fiat currency, their history is generally about 250 years,
Yeah.
give or take.
Yeah.
I think there was one that went almost 280 years, but inevitably it runs its course because they cannot stop printing money. They need the regular people, us, and I'm talking about the Epstein class, the people that own the central banks, the military industrial contractor providers, all of this, they need an enemy to justify building the military, building the military equipment. They need you working. If everybody was a millionaire, there'd be no first class. So now the Epstein class is flying with all the other yahoos that are us, because we're all millionaires. If the wealth was evenly distributed, if you got paid for your labor and nobody took your money from you, if you were rewarded for your effort, then you don't have this class warfare that, do you think the Queen of England's going to stand in line in first class to fly, to if Dubai? Everybody has a private jet. And this whole Epstein thing, it's still going on.
Oh, yeah, it's not over.
Epstein was just the face of this one. They're trying to put it in a box.
Well, that operation is dead. That whole segment, I think, is that ran its course, and they were kind of done with that after that 25, 30-year cycle. And whatever's happening now, it's still going on, and it's probably more horrific and more closed and more controlled. And I think now, and I hate to even say this because that's what he was working on at that Zorro Ranch, that they just now started. After 2 years, they just now went to Zorro Ranch, but it's only because the state, it's only because the state of New Mexico passed a law to bring in their own investigators to start an investigation at Zorro Ranch. And the FBI's like, we'll take it over. We'll start investigating. We'll start digging up the bodies. We'll start finding these people.
Which you can trust the FBI.
Yeah. Well, that gave 2 years for the Rothschild handlers. I mean, the goons to go out there and scrub it, whitewash it, dig up the bodies, exhume the place,
it's
do what they do.
Crazy it was sold to a religious organization.
Yeah, I saw that. Who would want to buy that?
Well, it was reduced from whatever million to 18 million.
27 to 18.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, but what organization would want to buy that property?
Money. That's all that matters.
Someone good at getting rid of bodies.
Yeah.
You got Eric Kirk, I think, just got installed. I don't know how that works into the Air Force
Academy,
board
of Air Force Academy.
It's a board of
They
people?
write a report on the morale of the cadets. They come up with budgeting ideas, and I don't know that she's qualified to do any of that, but
How in the hell is that even
that's part of the grieving process, don't you know that?
She invites them all onto her OnlyFans account.
That's when you lose your spouse, you volunteer for a war.
Allegedly. I didn't say that for real. That was allegedly.
But it's like, golly, the worst persons you could put into that position with everything that's going on. But it creates minute notes on the news. It gets a cycle going.
Yeah, and it's another thing to talk about. That does it really matter who won the Super Bowl? Who got appointed to what board? Who got drafted where?
Well, think about this:
traded?
when they depopulate the Earth down to 30,000 people, we'll all be able to go to the Super Bowl. And in person, and a good portion of us will be playing in the Super Bowl. Because you're not going to have that kind of elite athleticism when you only have 30,000 people left on the planet. You know,
I was trying to find I don't remember what, gold or silver or oil. I was looking for the price, and I went to 3 different news sites, and all 3 news sites, one of the first stories was some ball player that got traded from his team to another team, and I'm thinking, like, motherfucker, they're eating babies. Why the fuck do I care about this?
Exactly,
this dude's salary, paycheck, who he's playing, where he's playing. I'm not watching football. I haven't watched football in 15 fucking years. I don't care.
Slop.
If I want to go watch a football game, I'm going to go watch the high school kids down the road.
Right.
That's
not
real.
Paid millions of dollars.
That's not scripted. That's, they're playing for the love of the game. But why is this on my news feed?
No, they're playing for the love of their father's love of the game. That's why they're
trying to get that NIL money.
Hey, you guys want to take a break real quick?
Yeah, we can do that.
We'll take a break.
All right, break time.
Whenever you're ready to be bold, it's time for Magnolia Lane Beauty Parlor. Call 337-404-1703. Find them on Facebook or book your appointment through Vagaroo. Whether it's a beautiful cut, the perfect color, or just a fresh update, Magnolia Lane Beauty Parlor has you covered. They're right behind Domino's in Leesville at 1614 South 5th Street. And remember, be good to your hair. You wear it every single day. That's Magnolia Lane Beauty Parlor in Leesville. Call 337-404-1703 today.
Let's be honest, you don't want to spend money in a business that smells like an armpit or a dipsty dumpster. Here at Leesville Tattoo, we keep the shop smelling great with the help of Christie's candles. They're so strong, we rarely light them. We just open the lids and let them do their magic. Do your nose and your company a favor. Open some of Christie's candles around your place and make living peaceful a priority. Christie's candles available exclusively at Leesville Tattoos.
Carrie Joe Photo Co. is the only choice when you're serious about preserving those special moments that only happen once in a lifetime. Weddings, engagements, graduations, grand openings, organizations, and events. Carrie Joe Photo Co. are the professionals. Need your event filmed? At Carrie Joe Photo Co., it's not a problem. With hundreds of special events, thousands of painstaking creative hours, and millions of beautiful moments and memories captured, Carrie Joe Photo Co. has all the experience you require when nothing less than the best will do. 337-591-1748. 337-591-1748. Carrie Joe Photo Co. on social media and kmphotoandfilm.com. Don't wait till it's too late to preserve your moment forever with Carrie Joe Photo Co. 337-591-1748 and kmphotoandfilm.com. That's Carrie Joe Photo Co. Bad Boy
and Skinnies.
Made to order custom burgers with your choice of 4 different types of bread, or get an unburger with no bread. 52 different fresh toppings and 6 cheeses. Even get an egg, bacon, or alligator sausage on top of your custom burger. Locally family owned and operated. Now offering pizzas made to order from all the same toppings from the main menu. Philly cheesesteak custom quarter-pound all-beef hot dogs. And fresh salads made to order. Pair it all up with one of those famous shakes or ice cream. That's Fat Boy and Skinnies in Leesville. Fat Boy
and Skinnies.
It's Carrie Joe, and welcome to the Truth Serum. Life is loud, messy, and a little crazy sometimes, and too often it feels like nobody's really hearing us. Like we're talking, but the world's not listening. On top of that, we're surrounded by negativity that tears us down when what we really need is more honesty, more support, and more real conversations that lift us up. So that's what we're doing here. The subjects that feel too dark or off limits, we're talking about them. Those uncomfortable moments you found yourself in and thought, I can't be the only one, we're talking about it. The dangerous, the taboo, the things people would rather sweep under the rug, we're talking about those too. Unfiltered, unashamed, unapologetic, and authentic. This is where the truth lives and where we can finally say the things we've been holding back. So pull up a chair, hit play, and let's talk about it on the Truth Serum with Carrie Joe.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just figuring it out that you can't talk about.
Man, I had an idea.
Oh,
that
no.
We could during the week collect our top 3 favorite memes and share them with everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure everybody saw. I saw one today. This guy's pulling up his britches, and it says it's more productive to take a big shit in the woods than to vote for a politician. It's fitting. Like these memes are going to be our history books one day.
Yeah.
You know.
It'll be like our hieroglyphs.
No shit, right?
The hieroglyphs of the resistance.
Yeah, well, that's what it could be. Yeah.
I mean,
the juice box will be right up there.
Exactly.
Juice
box.
That kind of
Emoji.
thing.
I don't even think you can use that emoji on.
Well, they just
platforms.
completely eliminated it.
Did they?
Yeah, they've gotten rid of the juice box altogether.
Man.
It's not even an option to post as a reaction or emoji anymore.
They still have the eggplant, though. You notice that.
They still got the eggplant.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the Gen Zers are using the Pinocchio emoji now. They just automatically switched. But yeah, if you want to know who the enemy is, find out who you can't critique.
Right. That's exactly right.
I mean,
it's very dangerous to be right when your government is wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when your government turns to tyranny and you are a freedom-loving American, just find out that you're going to get a boot in your freaking neck.
Yeah. Well, when telling the truth becomes a criminal act,
Yep.
and and that's why censorship of any speech is dangerous, right? If you say something I don't agree with or touches me emotionally in some no place, you're not responsible for my feelings over what you say. But to have a healthy debate, the three of us should be able to talk about whatever in whatever light we think.
Right.
And
I wish we could find something that we disagree on, because I don't think we found that
I just
Right.
wish you could use all the letters in any order at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple. There's
There's a reason why they're there.
Yeah, and then you put them in a certain order, and they make words.
Yeah.
And those words, I mean, as soon as you say them, they're gone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter which order you put the letters in. You should be able to use all of them
Yeah.
in any order you want. There shouldn't be a certain order you can't use those letters in.
Right.
That just seems pretty weird.
Yeah. Sticks and
does seem
stones may
insane.
hurt me, but words never will.
Yeah, so that's it. But man, so many people. Words are weapons. Really, I'd rather you hit me with a word than I'll hit you with a bat.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll see which
Have you ever
one's
been
more.
hit with a fist? Because it hurts a
Yeah,
lot worse
yeah.
than a word.
Than a word.
The people that are saying words are violence, they don't know what pennies taste like.
Yeah, they've never been punched in the face.
No, their definition of violence and mine are completely different.
Exactly.
We don't even have the same definition.
Yeah.
Go to the dojo.
Yep.
Go to the boxing gym. I mean, it's insane that you are responsible for how somebody else feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
No, nobody is.
Well,
No,
they
I'm
were
not
pushing that
responsible.
big back in the pandemic. I mean, you remember when the
yeah.
rise of that happened and all that, and you couldn't say this, couldn't say that, and the people in England, I think, are arrested and serving time for tweets.
They're being
and-
arrested for their Facebook posts today.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've arrested more people for Facebook posts than they have for rape
That's insane.
or
That's-
grape.
Nuts.
Yeah. Grape. That came up a lot on the Epstein file.
Yeah, didn't it?
Grape soda,
Yeah.
pizzas, hot dogs.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You make pizza and serve grape soda, don't you, Josh?
No grape sodas. And we do make pizza, but it's not what you
It's
think.
legitimate.
Wait a
legit
minute.
pizza,
Wait a minute.
man.
Is that alligator?
It actually is.
Man,
Okay.
that pizza y'all serve is fire.
Oh,
I love
that's
it.
It is.
unbelievable.
Me and my son, we went, what was that? We got chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah.
I was so full. I was sitting at
Can't
the table.
stop eating it.
And I was looking at the pieces that were left in the box, and I was like, I don't have any room, but I damn sure want to.
It's coming home with me.
Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
was that's how you know it's real food. If you go in somewhere and you order a pizza and you can eat the whole thing by yourself, you're not eating real food.
Yeah.
So
That's
I know, shit, man. It's expensive to provide quality stuff, but I appreciate you doing it. It's definitely
Well, the people appreciate
Worked
it, because it's a niche product, and you can put anything you want on there. I mean, we got, like you said, alligator sausage, and people put that on their burgers, man. Yeah.
oh yeah, man. Now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Alligator. Shoot. Yeah.
Have you had crawfish yet this season?
No, I've not had.
Have you had crawfish yet?
Nope.
I hadn't either.
I'm too
man.
poor to buy it,
I was
man.
about to say, yeah, it's a delicacy. It's
Yeah.
not in my budget.
I can't see how people line up to go buy the
Dude,
crawfish,
That
man.
little
I'm like,
place on the side of the road, they were
mean,
stacked up
dangerous.
there 30 deep the other day.
Yeah,
It was stretched from the crawfish shack almost to the intersection.
Yeah.
They almost got to a point where they had to create a break across the intersection for cars to get in and out.
What's going on with all the wrecks, man?
Traffic circles.
Man, there's just been an absolute crazy amount of wrecks in the last week or so.
Well, a lot of it too has to do with the phones.
a lot of it has to do
Well,
with the phones, bro.
Yeah.
I just don't know why in the last week.
I had a lady pull out in front of me the other day, and I'm slow rolling through town because it's 1 o'clock lunchtime. Her top speed was 20 miles an hour. People just blowing past her in the right lane. I didn't go around her because I was turning pretty
Yeah.
soon, but through her rear view mirror, I could see her just doom scrolling
Dude,
on her
the
phone.
irony of
driving
this
down the
one.
road.
All right, so we're in front of the school, 7:20 in the morning, right? This dude's got a huge caution sign on his tailgate of his bumper of his car.
Right.
Baby on board, caution, blah, 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 this and that. He's bringing his kids to school. He hits another person that's in line, smokes him, baby, because he's on his phone with his kid.
Shit.
With his kid in the back seat.
Jeez.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
an
so
iron.
concerned about, make sure everybody else watches out for his kid, but he's playing on finger screwing his phone while he's trying to drop his kids off at school, man. It's just like, if you want to take a cross section of society and see where we're at, just to have a look around.
I did a story today. They did a study, is what they called it. Now, they only did it for a week at one high school in Maryland or Maine. 100 students. I think it was 6th grade through 12th grade. And 0% of them went one day at school without using their phone.
Wow.
0%.
shit.
The average was just over 2 hours a day on their phone in school.
Wow.
Yeah. So the older the kids, the worse it was.
Yeah.
Like the juniors and seniors, they were 3-4 hours a day on their phone while they were in school. The elementary kids, the 6th, 7th, 8th graders were doing like 27, 28 minutes a day on their phone in school. And again, it was just one school and just 100 students in that school.
That's crazy.
But yeah, a 0%. Not a single one of those 100 kids did not open their phone while they were in school.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah. Okay, so why are we sending them to school?
Yeah. If the
We only
answer's
send them
right
4
there,
days a week now.
Yeah.
No shit.
So, yeah.
The teachers get off on Monday now.
Yeah.
They get a 3-day weekend, bro.
It's crazy because when I started homeschooling,
That's basically what I'm doing.
yeah,
I'm paying for public education
Well,
for my kids, but I have to do all the studying, all the tests, everything at home.
my ex-wife was worried about our youngest, and she was like, I don't know. And I was like, look, if you want to do it. I encourage it because, my oldest, he was pretty much self-guided once he got motivated, but the school he was attending, the majority of teachers were pulling their children from the school system,
Wow.
sending them to private school or homeschooling.
Wow.
And, with my oldest, the homeschool program we had, he had a I don't want to say consultant, but it was a person at the homeschool program that just kind of monitored his progress, just to make sure he was on track. And I called his counselor probably a month into it, and I said, hey, what is going on? Because he's doing like 45 minutes of schoolwork and then he's done for the day. Or he's doing 2.5 hours of schoolwork and he's finished for the day. And I can see his grades, are on par. She was like, look, a lot of times he's actually working ahead. There is so much time wasted in public school that even I had been programmed to think school needs to be 7, 8, 10 hours a day. You do your 8 hours and then you come home and you do schoolwork for 2 hours of homework. With this homeschool program, you're not waking up at 6 something in the morning to get them on the bus or drive them to school. They're not waiting for 30 minutes for the classroom to start for the teacher to tell them to pull out their books. They're not having to stop early to walk to the next class, to wait 5 minutes to start the next class, listen to the teacher, do the instructions. If they understand the lesson, they do the
roll
work.
with it, yeah.
If they don't understand the lesson, they can back up, they can watch the material, read the material, but it is so much more efficient.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, if you have a motivated kid and they're willing to put in 8 hours a day, they can literally be done with the entire grade in probably 2.5, 3 months.
Wow.
If that.
Well, the school also in the classroom has to wait up for LD Louisiana dummy Petey to to catch up with everyone else,
Right.
and so you're only going to go as fast as the slowest kid.
Yeah, and this kid's
You know?
pulling this girl's hair, and this
Yeah.
girl's talking on her phone. There's so many
there's
distractions.
Yeah, it's like watching a program on YouTube. If you took all the commercials out, it would be 8 minutes long.
Yeah,
right,
But
right.
it takes 3 hours to watch it on high speed.
Right.
Which, by the way, I want to apologize to everyone for all the commercials you're seeing on our podcast.
It's not
We're
us.
not responsible for them.
We are not
No.
responsible for the
Now,
commercial.
you being over from the Dallas area, I thought you'd get a kick out of this because I came across this story too. There is a guy I can't remember the little town. It's over on the other side of Dallas. He is running for, I think, mayor, but he may be running for Congress. He changed his name to Absolutely Anybody Else. He legally changed his name, and he's running as Absolutely Anybody Else.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's this isn't the first time he's done it, but I thought, that's making a statement.
Yeah.
And if by some chance he wins, because he's not spending any money, he's not campaigning.
Right.
He just went on the ballot as Absolutely Anybody else.
That's cool.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I thought,
I
this
win.
could seriously start a trend.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw that in Boston and I think it was Chicago, people went over the bridges and put up signs about, illegal wars don't stop illegal pedophiles. And, so the movement is gaining serious traction. I'm seeing more and more of this. People, just single people going out with a sign, and before you know it, there's 300 other people around them,
Right.
all just sort of spontaneously protesting this
Right.
and saying, hey, we're not forgetting about it.
Yep.
We're not
Not
stopping
going away.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many damn bombs you drop illegally on people that were absolutely no threat to us.
Right.
It doesn't matter how you distract us with the Wall Street shit. Mary had sent a text earlier about the whole BlackRock thing and not being able to withdraw your money. Again, just psyop because they want people to panic and start the digital dollar. Hey, you can't get your money out. That fund has been in business for 30 years. They know going in, me and you, we can't even invest in that fund.
Right.
We're not even in that
class,
group.
yeah.
But they released that. Like, you're not going to be able to get your money. Really, the last time I tried to withdraw $20 billion, right. Yeah, it didn't go well.
They didn't give you your 20 million?
No, billion. No, billion. They mistake the B for an M, and then that was an issue too.
I figure if they
But-
wouldn't give you your 20 billion, they'd at least give you 20 million.
No, they wouldn't come off any of it.
Jeez.
I mean, and the reason is they don't have it in the bank. I
Cheeky
mean, never mind
bastards.
the fact I don't have it in the bank. They don't have it in the bank. We're
But
not
it's-
talking about me. We're
but it's
talking
on your
about
balance
them.
sheet.
Well, I can put it on my balance sheet. Watch it. It's the same way the government does.
Yeah, that's how
you
they
know.
do it.
I just write it in here and go, $26 billion is now mine.
Right.
And,
Start with zeros.
just keep adding zeros
Zeros,
to
yeah.
it, and what we find talking about this, we're just going to call it $40 trillion in debt now.
Yeah, 40,
we are.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a thing the other day talking
Not
about
including unfunded liabilities.
right.
Yeah.
This is just the national debt.
we're just talking numbers,
Right.
Okay. If you started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how long it would take you to count to 1 million, right?
Okay.
Then how long it would take you to count to 1 billion.
Uh-huh.
To get to 1 trillion, you're not going to live long enough.
Wow.
If you started the day you were born, you will not live long enough to count to 1 trillion.
$1
You'd probably spend most of your lifetime just getting to 1 billion.
Yeah, most of the way, just to the first billion. So when you start talking about trillions of dollars, most people can't even comprehend that kind of money.
Well, what's crazy, you're talking about $40 trillion in debt, right? And you're talking about the unfunded liabilities. You're talking about the real estate, commercial real estate market. You're talking about, so there's numerous things that play into this. The Chicago derivatives market, nobody knows how much the derivatives market is actually worth. It's been estimated on the low end, just the money that has been invested, that is not on the table.
Okay.
It's been promised to the market. If these contracts fill, yes, I will buy them. If these contracts fill, yes, you will pay me.
How much?
$600 trillion
What?
up to, on the high end, $4 quadrillion.
No.
That's how much the derivatives. So it's not necessarily the bond market, the
What a
stock
Ponzi
market,
scheme.
the housing market. All those, yes, are a bubble and they are under threat. But this derivatives market,
Wow.
there is a bank that has a derivatives position, one derivatives position that is larger than the nation's GDP.
Holy cow.
And that's
One bank.
One bank has one derivatives position. So the idea that our financial institutions are, 1, responsible, 2, liable, 3, capable, is just who's going to bail them out when that thing goes belly up?
Crashes, yeah.
I mean, who has $1 quadrillion, let alone 2, 3, or 4?
But like you said, it's just
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend, Travis Kelce.
Years ago, Eddie Murphy did a bit about Johnny Carson getting divorced. You know, Johnny Carson had like 4 divorces, and at the time, Johnny Carson was worth like $100 million, which was crazy amount of money in the 70s. Right? Richest guy in Hollywood and all this. And he said, Eddie Murphy, the bit was about Johnny Carson getting divorced and his wife wanting half his money. Right? He goes, I don't know what she got, sparks flying out her ass or whatever. She goes, but, $50 million? $50 million just because she was married to this dude? Like, what'd she do? Go to work a minimum wage, and she bring home her check for $115 and go, just put this with the rest, honey. Well, that's kind of what I look like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. He made $17 million.
Right.
She's worth $1 billion.
Yeah, she made $17 million on the concert last night.
She made $17 million off the interest 8 seconds ago.
Exactly.
What's he going to do? Honey, you just put mine with yours, and it's ours.
Yeah.
It's ours.
Yep.
No, Travis.
Insane.
No, it's hers, and yours is.
Oh, I'm sure her lawyers were definitely draw up
man.
a really nice prenup.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well,
And enough of that shit.
I don't know what was the soccer player's name. His wife divorced him.
Ronaldo or whatever.
Anyway, she was suing him for half his wealth, and went absolutely ballistic when in court it was revealed he doesn't own anything. His mom owns the houses. His mom owns the cars.
Wow.
His mom owns the boats.
Nice.
His mom owns, and everything else, it just happens to be in a trust
That he can just draw off of.
that his mom controls.
Right. That he just gets the check from.
Yeah. So she was living this lavish lifestyle, this jet set lifestyle with me, thinking, man, he's got it made, not knowing his checks from the football team.
Meanwhile, she's been a total bitch to her mother-in-law.
She's not getting nothing.
Yeah, she's like, I never liked you.
Yeah.
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 This
Get
isn't
outta
going to
here.
go well.
But the thing is, his mother's like a gardener. Like, you'd never know she controlled
All
this
this
millions and millions
massive
of
wealth.
dollars. Like, she's just this humble, elderly lady that's like,
Didn't you have a conversation on local talk radio this morning?
Yeah, let's talk about
I
this.
tried to call in and I couldn't get in.
I missed it, and I want to
So,
know about it because
who was this guy? This is
Littlefield, Littlefoot, Little Wing, Little something is his last
Okay,
name. I think it's Littlefield.
but he's got a big title. He's like, what is he?
He is something to the governor.
Okay, like assistant governor, like a
Well,
like a
no,
deputy
he's an
governor?
advisor. He helped Liz Murrell's campaign. I mean, he's definitely rubbing elbows in the political sphere.
Pretty heavy ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so he called into the talk radio station this morning.
Right. And
You got in.
right. I was actually the first caller.
Nice.
They
I was
had,
trying to get the kids ready, but I couldn't get in.
yeah, it was jammed up actually. Several people called, but I'm sure you had to get in right at the right moment. But I asked about CCS, but I did it backwards. So I laid out how Mary Landrieu and Jason Tanner, that both are affiliated with Van Nuys Feldman, worked with John Bell Edwards to come up with the carbon neutral agenda for Louisiana by 2050. Because let's face it, John Bell's not smart enough to sit down in his study and write all that shit out. So this was created. Well, Governor Landry had the ability to just void that executive order, but he didn't. And when you get to looking at it, the people in Landry's sphere, they're all associated with these NGOs, whether it's Citizens for Louisiana's Future, MAGA Energy, TJC Group, Industry Makes. He's, appointed the vice president of Louisiana for responsible energy, whatever, to the chairman board of conventions, and then his attorney is a member of. So these groups that are pushing CCS in Louisiana are all associated with both Democrat and Republican politicians, governors, mayors. So my question to him was, if this is a safe and proven technology, why was the liability capped for the oil companies, whether it was personal injury or death or cleanup? And what makes Louisiana ideal for storing carbon waste in our ground? Neither question was answered. He went into some bubblegum speech, which you called it.
Yeah, I told you were going to get a bunch of gum.
Yeah. Neither question was even answered. He talked about how it's a debate that the state's going to have in the legislature, and how the internet conspiracies. He did admit he wasn't. He said he wasn't denying or wasn't confirming what I said was accurate. But the internet conspiracy stuff, which, I caught some of this from the internet, but these 401c3s, these NGOs, have to file documents that are public record.
Right.
You can look them up and see who's the president, who's the vice president, who's the director, who's the special counsel in charge of government affairs, who's in charge of public relations. And you pull enough of these things and you get to realizing this is just a big nepotism web of
good old boy network.
Yeah, this person's the president of this NGO, but they're also the vice president of this one. And this one's the director of this. I mean, they all interchange. So, with this one person in the room, are they acting as the president of this NGO, or are they acting as the vice president of this NGO, or are they acting as the director for this NGO? Mm-hmm. But the same person is
associated. The same people are all across the web.
So the idea, and it's, I get it. It's politics. It's
money, a lot of money.
Plausible deniability. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I had nothing to do with it. No, but come on, Buckshot.
Yeah.
Your right-hand man is sitting across the table.
Right.
And your understudy is holding this person's hand. It's just...
So did he talk about anything that was relevant at all in the 30 minutes that he was on the air?
If you called...
Good questions?
If you called and it was pro-Landry, he would kind of, hype it up like, yeah. But anything that was questionable, brought out hypocrisy, inconsistency, or, the dude's going to be a politician.
Yeah.
He
already is.
He finagled and moved around subjects.
Well, I just want to know, since we're a non-government organization, how do we get some of that money?
I don't know. I'm going to have to start hitting businesses up for advertising or at least free stuff to give away.
Well, you keep getting on the air and bad mouthing these politicians. You're going to need to get around and you start raising some bail.
I wasn't bad mouthing the
'Cause
politicians.
You damn rabble rouser is what you are.
I was just bringing to light public
How
knowledge.
dare you bring to light public
Yeah, they don't like
knowledge?
that.
They hate that.
They're like roaches. Man.
Oh
They
my!
run
What
from
are
the
you
tree.
doing?
You know,
What do you think you're doing? There's going to be guys in black SUVs and suits. They're going to give you one of them things.
I am sure if I had called about...
You'll not be calling anyone anymore. Is what you'll be doing.
Not about that.
You'll be calling Fat Boy and Skinnies to get a delivery order to the
pizza.
jail.
Can you freight my burger in a straw?
Yeah. I'm going to need that.
So nothing at all out of this whole 30-minute
Dude, it
quagmire of.
Let me guess. He talked a lot of politics.
It was a lot of words
Yeah.
and no sustenance.
and not much substance.
Exactly the opposite of our podcast.
So Mary Landreau,
Landrew. Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
Landreau, Mary
Yeah.
Landreau. She is the former governor.
She was the senator.
She was
for
the senator.
Louisiana.
Oh, she was senator.
She ran
Yeah,
for
okay.
governor.
She ran for governor. That's right.
But she did
She
not
was
get
senator.
elected governor.
So she's all over this CCS crap, right?
Yeah, when she was...
Let me tell you where else she's at. And all these in liquefied natural gas plants
Oh yeah.
that are going
yeah.
down in Hackberry
Yeah.
and down in the
Well,
Louisiana coast.
Let me
right?
tell you why. Because Mary Landrew, when she was in the Senate, the committees she was on was like Homeland Security, National Energy Policy, Coastal Restoration and Energy
a lot of
Management.
money coming in that.
So if you go on her LinkedIn or Wikipedia for Van Nuys Feldman, she is a senior consultant, and what she does is gets access for high-end clients to the executive branch, to the legislative branch, to specific hard-to-reach people.
So
through
pretty much
this law
exactly
firm.
the same thing I do.
Exactly.
And she also has an office in Alexandria, Virginia, I think.
Well, her and her
yeah.
husband both. If you looked at their public information, they live in Washington D.C., but they also have a residence in Louisiana.
Well, just so you know, her brother Mitch Landrew, he was the lieutenant governor for a while, and I got to meet him and spend a little bit of time with him down on 3rd Street at some events. And that dude's fingers are as long as this table. I mean, I'm serious. That dude's got banana hands like nobody's. But yeah, that was
Is he
the
a
one thing.
proctologist?
God, I hope not. Good Lord. Although we've got some gynecologists down in DeRitter that they look more like a football team than a medical practice. And I was like, oh God, I hope she doesn't tell me that's who she goes to. And I was like,
It could be good or bad for
yeah,
you.
good or bad, mostly bad, But
Congratulations, Cody.
yeah, so but yeah, Mitch. That was the one thing I took away from all my talking to Mitch Landry was his hands were.
I watched
ridiculous.
this documentary last night. It was 9 months old, but it was talking about all these LNG plants that were just popping up all over the place down there, and
Yeah,
it's
right.
destroying the fishing industry in
Oh.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
The oyster cultivation beds are getting destroyed. They've lost 75% of their productive oyster beds.
Damn.
Yeah,
They've had multiple leaks of whatever substances are coming out of these plants. And they're trying to say that these are like, this is going to be the new Saudi Arabia of LNG. Well, it just so happens. And if you just, like, it's almost planned this way. If you look at the Nord Stream pipeline that was sabotaged and blown up by whoever that did that, right? So Russia was supplying Europe with this cheap natural gas through this pipeline. It was blown up. And then all of a sudden, America is the new Saudi Arabia of LNG, shipping LNG all over Europe. And we're making all this money, but yet the people that are directly affected by it being on a global scale of product, now the people of Louisiana and the United States have to compete with other countries that are bidding this stuff up so high that now the American populace is having to pay more for energy because we have a lot of natural gas power plants, right? We have very few coal power plants anymore. So these LNG companies, Global Venture, I think, is one of them that's working with Mary Landry, and it's odd that she sits at the precipice of all this stuff that's supposed to be good for Louisiana and bringing in jobs, but not really. Once these plants are built, and the good old boy that goes down there to be a welder or a pipe fitter or electrician or whatever, once these things are built, that job is no longer viable or available. They run these things with very minimal people.
And it's going to get less and less. That's what they keep talking about, these AI data centers. There's not a lot of jobs associated with those. Once the thing's built,
that's it.
I mean, and they keep talking about the money. We're not seeing any of that.
Money.
Just so you know, I was sent a job on Indeed probably 2 weeks ago now because of my resume. And it was basically to man a data center in...
Really?
I don't remember if it was Missouri or Arkansas. It was one of the states north of us. But yeah, it paid $50,000 a year just to monitor the servers and stuff. Yeah, that was it. So even the one or two jobs they do create
until they get the AI trained to do it.
Yeah, well, even then, and I don't know that the AI it could definitely do 90% of it, but the actual
physical,
right? The physical part of I don't know that they can you've spliced fiber. Mm-hmm. I don't know that they have the dexterity yet to be able to manipulate that that fine of a thing, but I mean eventually it's coming.
Right.
It'll be self-replicating, self-repairing systems and all that shit. But I just thought this is kind of funny that we talk about this and then it sends me this job for this data center monitor, and it pays $50,000 a year. And they talk about these data centers. They're going to bring so many high-paying jobs.
Yeah, that's not a high-paying job.
There's probably 3 people doing it.
Yeah.
Because you got to man it 24 hours. Well, it's government, so there's redundancy, so there's 6 people.
Right.
Because you got to have a backup for every 8 hours. So there's 6 people to man it 24/7, 365. So that's what, $300,000 a year?
Golly.
I mean, that's nothing. That's not going to do much for the economy.
No. And I just hate that these LNG plants are taking the resources of the United States, of the American people, of Louisiana people. They're putting it on a global market, and they're not allowing United States citizens to
reap the benefits.
Or reap a reasonable level, 75% discount of natural gas for American citizens, for American companies, for American production. We're competing on a global scale for this stuff, and it's not necessarily good that we're doing that, but yet the people like Global Venture, this company that owns a couple of these large places down there in Hackberry, are reaping the rewards because they're the ones that selling this stuff with tax breaks. They get tax breaks for the purchases of the land. They get all kinds of incentives to build that plant here, and it's taken away from the actual tax base that the people need the money for propagating, a future.
Yeah. So you're telling me they can make more off of LNG than they can oysters?
Yeah. Imagine that. But the oyster farmer and the people in the communities are just getting shafted. And is that kind of what was going to happen to us with CCS?
Yep.
They were shoving this down our throat, and the poor people of Hackberry have got these LNG plants just popping up overnight all around them, and it's just like that was going to happen here, or it may still happen here.
Yeah.
Well, and just for anyone that doesn't know, we just had an earthquake up basically north Toledo Bend.
The biggest earthquake in Louisiana.
Yeah.
4.9.
I had a buddy who said they need to go check the dam because that shook hard enough. Yeah, and he's from California. He went through a bunch of the earthquakes out there. And I told him, I said, man, something happens to that dam, Evans and Maryville are in trouble.
Yeah.
Big time. But you knew it was going to happen. It was about a year ago they had an earthquake over in Center, Texas, just north of Center.
Yeah.
They don't have earthquakes in Center, Texas. Just like we don't have earthquakes here. We get hurricanes, not earthquakes.
Do y'all remember when they started all that fracturing in Oklahoma?
Oh, yeah.
And Oklahoma started having all those big earthquakes.
Yep.
And, I'm thinking, what if they're actually doing this CCS crap somewhere?
Yeah.
Because they can directional drill.
Oh, Sure. yeah.
And they can put a processing plant above it, but they might be 3 or 4 miles
or
10
hundreds of miles
away.
Yeah.
And putting this crap in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, they're big on the directional drilling in Africa because, they don't have to get permission from the country. They're drilling under.
Right.
They can just put the platform offshore,
Yeah.
drill into that country's oil, and they don't
even know.
Yeah, they don't have nothing to say about it. So, yeah, it's pretty bad. Look, Mary Landry's been selling Louisiana out for a long, long time. And, I'm just going to say allegedly, because it's been a long time since I was sort of in the middle of this. But Louisiana's oil and gas lease rights, she basically just gave them away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she did that decades ago.
Yep.
And they say, well, it's for the people of Louisiana. No, it's for the politicians.
Yeah.
It's all for the politicians.
And the corporations.
Well, yeah, which is the politicians.
Yeah, the same people
it's
that
the same
own-
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say, corporations without saying politicians because it's the same people, and they are definitely looking out for their own, not looking out for us at all. I mean, let's be real honest, they don't give two shits about us.
No.
Not you, not me,
Nope.
not you watching this podcast or listening to it wherever you are. I mean, they don't give two shits. When they go on TV and they go, well, I'm doing this, it's all about them. That's all it's about. When they say our democracy, they mean their democracy, not your democracy. Keep that in mind. And, when they say, well, my opponent, shut the fuck up. You're all lying.
Yeah.
Every one of you's lying.
Everyone.
You're either covering up for a pedivore or you are one.
For it, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's no nuance to this.
Right.
Keep bombing Iran. That's going to go well. Keep the distractions going.
Of Gaza genocide and the reverberations of the Iran war and the North Lebanon incursion, all of this is going to be something that our kids and grandkids are going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
We're setting up the next global war on terror. We're setting up the next
what's crazy
GY.
about that Iran war going on right now? If you're
Operation.
in Israel and you take videos or photos,
You get 5 years in prison.
if it's not approved by the Israeli government and you release it, it's a 5-year
5-year prison sentence. Why in the world would they want to?
desperately
Yeah.
trying to dictate the narrative, the perception of this.
I heard in Europe that they're actually in some circles on the media, Western media, they're saying that Iran attacked Israel first. Exactly what they're saying. And I can't believe that the narrative can shift to actually bold-face, outright lying to people whenever you say, you're starting an operation that a certain country did this first when actually Israel is the one that attacked first.
Look, I just think, because we need to get into wrapping this thing up, but I just honestly believe we need to tear the whole thing down.
Absolutely. I'm all for it.
Everyone in Congress, everyone in the Senate, everyone in the House, all of it.
Central bank
Even your local politicians, I would say get these guys that's been in there for 6, 12, 15 years, get them out of there.
Yeah,
Get them
they've
out.
made a career of it.
Yeah, get them out. I don't care how good-hearted they are. I don't care how nice they are or how much they do for the community. We need fresh blood, and we need fresh blood to start anew, because if not, we're going to have blood in the streets.
Before we wrap this up, I don't know, I listened yesterday, Landry talking about they're going to get rid of the inspection sticker.
Yeah.
And they're going to put a QR code in place where the police, scanners can read the QR code, know everything about the vehicle, when you last had insurance, if you currently have insurance. Well, I brought up in a conversation with Josh, the people that are making these decisions don't understand the technology, because you can create your own QR codes.
Right.
Josh had the idea to link it to like Eastern European gay porn so that when it plugs up on their screen.
Yeah.
Well, I was talking to a kid and he's like, well, I can put a virus on it.
Yeah.
I was like, to do what? Shut it down, erase their data?
I was about to say, and this is
like, holy shit.
This is essentially boomers playing with, they know not what they do.
Right.
They think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Someone explained it to them, not understanding the 8-year-old.
Right.
He's got every QR code should just be plastered to Epstein files.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Just
That's a great
everything
idea.
just goes back to the
Yeah.
Epstein files, no matter what it is.
Right.
Epstein files.
Right.
Because the fact is, even right now, our local police department has plate readers
Yep.
and flock cameras
Yep.
in town in
Yep.
use right now.
Yep.
And this is a town of 3,000 people. This is not a big city.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, we
This
didn't
isn't-
want to get rid of the inspection stickers to bring in more authoritarian power. And
Well, they're never going to give some of without, it's always give an inch, take a mile
Right.
with them.
What-
Which, again, is why they all need to be gone.
Yeah.
Whether they're good or not. Term limits, one term, you go do your thing, then you go home.
Well,
go back to your
I
job.
think the political parties, it's no longer Democrats or Republicans. They've been hijacked by globalists. And there's this
pedivores.
fight, pedivores, globalist pedivores.
Yeah.
And there's this little niche of nationalists that are trying to make headway, but the money, the pedivores, the influence is so great. They
They'll-
just get crushed.
They'll just call you a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
That's what they want to do, and then
Yeah.
that way you can be sent over to wherever it is they're sending people over in Brazil or wherever that country is that they're creating these internment camps off the United States, continent, and they're just we are terrorists, so you just get to go over here forever until you get erased. So that's how they're going to deal with dissidents. So it's going to become a time to where you have to draw a red line and be like, okay, at this point, that's it.
Yeah, well, and they've got ICE trained up to deport people pretty easily,
Yeah.
and they've kind of normalized that.
Yeah.
So now
Military
nobody's going to
looking
go,
street.
oh, hey, wait a minute.
Right.
They go, oh, that's ours. Go get them.
Yeah.
That's
Go,
what they
redcoats.
do. That's right. Go get them. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, it's what it's going to be.
That's exactly what it's coming down to. All right, guys,
All right,
final
yeah.
thoughts before we wrap this thing up.
Oh, man. Go ahead.
Eat red meat, do hard shit, quit getting comfortable, seek purpose over pleasure, lift heavy stuff, stay dangerous, man. Train with your firearm, train at the dojo, find something to do.
Find a group of people.
Yes, find neighbors,
Find a
learn to
group.
grow food. I mean, develop some skills other than,
TikTok.
or foosball.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
damn,
my thing.
man, you're an American, act like it.
I'm actively trying to talk to people at the gym, guys and girls, and like, look, we got to start local. We got to start somewhere. Let's do a once a month meeting at some location to where we all get together and have coffee and we just talk.
No cell phones.
No cell phones. And we just talk amongst ourselves because I think that we'll find more in common than we will not. And I think
Absolutely.
that if we start really investing in our children's future, and stop worrying about what Tommy is going to say about me at church, or
Right.
what Susan's going to think at the hair salon or whatever it might be. We got to start at the grassroots level and start getting a community organization of just people that are concerned talking. And that's it. Just once a month. How hard is that? Block out a couple hours on a Sunday after church and just go hang out and have some coffee with people. And let's just talk. That's what I'm trying to do. And I encourage everybody to do that and stop worrying about being labeled a certain thing because that's what they use to control you. You're already labeled.
Yeah, we're on file somewhere.
Yeah, you're already an enemy of the state, of the status quo, of their democracy. And so don't worry about that. Worry about how in the world we're going to circumvent these globalist pedivores that are controlling our local governments, and now installing flock cameras, and now using plate readers, and now using facial recognition software. That's what we need to be concerned about at a local level. This is stuff that needs to be
That's a
talked
great
about.
point.
Worrying about football, foosball, whatever. If it's not your kid, don't worry about it. Stop watching that crap. Worry about the things that matter. Because none of this stuff matters in the end except for freedom. And if we don't fight for it, we're going to lose it. And it's coming fast, folks.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Look, like, subscribe, send us a message through any of the platforms where you're watching us or listening to us. We would love to get your feedback on it, your thoughts on it. Remember, every opinion, every perspective matters. And you may be thinking something that we've never even thought of before. You may have an angle that we haven't considered. So please, send us a chat, send us a message, send us an email. We really appreciate you being here, listening to us.
We should have shirts pretty quickly for sale.
Yep.
Okay, we'll have shirts for sale. $683 a piece. And that's for a small. If you're big, we'll talk about it. Send us a private message. Let us know just how big you are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're real big, Lee might give you a discount.
I'm really excited about these shirts. I think that everybody's going to like them. Everybody's going to want one.
All right, just get in contact with us. Let us know for Josh, for Lee. Remember, the world's in a really crazy place. You never know what people are going through, what kind of challenges they might be facing. So please be kind to everyone you see. The world could use a lot more love. Until the next time, make good decisions. Have a great one. See ya. Be cool. Bye.
It's so fantastic. One more dead just ain't that tragic. Change the world, the flag unfurls, saluting light. You think it's magic? Thanks for making my enemies, deciding who I hate for me, driving mankind to its knees, breaking backs and kicking teeth. All they say is play the game. It ain't fair, that's a shame. This injustice is just insane. Take a number, forget your name. One more treat, it's good to eat. Close your eyes, drink your meat. Styrofoam, that's so unknown. While starving mouths like riot streets. Thanks for making my enemies, deciding who I'll hate for me, driving mankind to its knees, breaking backs and kicking teeth. Deciding who I'll hate for me, driving mankind to its knees, breaking backs and kicking teeth. Thanks for making my enemies, deciding who I'll hate for me, driving mankind to its knees, breaking backs and kicking teeth.